What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be taking a look at a title called Crown and Adventure. This is a demo that has actually kind of knocked my socks off. If you haven't seen this game before, it's largely escaped the public's notice, but this may be one of the chunkier demos on Steam right now when it comes to strategy RPGs, and one of the reasons why this game has me so enamored is that this is one of the few development companies that has stepped up to the plate and decided to make a competing Mount & Blade. Now, this game is distinct from Mount & Blade Warband and Bannerlord in a lot of ways, but the general blueprint for how it functions remains the same. If you wanted some rough cultural touchstones to figure out exactly what this game is, it's kind of like Romance of the Three Kingdoms had a baby with Mount & Blade Warband, and then you sprinkled in a bit of a Musou game in there like Dynasty Warriors, where it's very hero-based, and you have characters that can kill 20 guys in one swing of their sword as lightning and tornadoes erupt everywhere. Another good game to compare this to would be Sands of Salazar, if you liked that game as well. This game does have its flaws, and we'll talk about those at the end of the video. But we're going to play it today for 30, 40, 50 minutes. We'll see how long it goes for, and hopefully you guys will also like this game as much as I do. The demo is completely and totally free. The only warning that I'll give you is that this game has clearly been localized to English from a different culture, and so sometimes the translation is not wrong in terms of like the English and the grammar being used, but the words aren't accurately describing the cultural sort of context of what's going on, so occasionally some of the quests and whatnot can get kind of confusing, but I've still enjoyed it tremendously. I think the game is a lot of fun, so let's dive on into it. The link is down below. You can check that out there. On top of that, you can also find a bunch of other Nerd Castle links that take you to Discord, Patreon, all those kinds of fun things, just in case you wanted to give them the old click a nation and come hang out with me. Sorry there was no video yesterday. This game is why there was no video yesterday. I recorded this yesterday, and I didn't feel like I had a firm grasp on the game, so I decided to pull the video, play for a couple more hours, and then re-record it today. So welcome on into Crown and Adventure. If you're taking a look at the general layout of the game right now and like the way that everything is sort of described to the player, you will instantly recognize Mount & Blade Warband here. In this game, you are a random minor swordsman who's decided to become a mercenary during a time of tumult and conflict inside of the kingdom. There's like some big bandit/rebel army preparing to invade. This game is much more heavily narrative focused than Mount & Blade Warband, so the narrative in Mount & Blade Warband is largely going to be emergent. Like, you take jobs, you take quests, and the things that happen in between those steps with you establishing your dynasty or your political family are going to be the storyline that you get. This game is much more focused on a main storyline. It has loads of quests around that are scripted, and they're scripted, and they have like a narrative going on. And what's even more interesting than that I really liked about it so far is that the quests that you do before you hit certain spots in the storyline will actually affect what happens later on in the storyline, in the respect that if you've made allies and you've made friends and you've taken time to sort of solidify all the people that like you and all the people that don't like you, they will come and aid you during major storyline events, which I think is pretty cool out here. What you're seeing on screen right now is our first battle. This game is a little mix of something like Dynasty Warriors, Mount & Blade Warband, and an auto battler, and I'll kind of get into the mechanics of how it's different for right now, but really inside this game we have limited control over our soldiers. We determine where they deploy at the beginning of the fight, and then we can give them minor orders like this group attack this formation, but really we don't have a ton of control over what's happening. But where it gets interesting is that you have these heroes all over the battlefield that you've made friends with by doing quests and increasing their relationship. They act as your sergeants or your captains inside of combat, and they have their own battalions that they command, but they also have their own hotkeyable abilities that, just like you, are able to blow up big chunks of the battlefield, kill 20 guys at once, and the battles are very satisfying just due to the sheer amount of spell effects and whatnot that can be flying all over the place by the time you get into larger battles. I think the biggest one that I fought in so far was about 400 or 500 men. And dude, it was crazy. I had NPCs all over the place. The entire battlefield was full of columns and rows of men fighting with each other. There was bodies flying all over the place from explosions and magic spells and stuff like that. Very, very stimulating and fun to play around with. Right now, what I'm doing inside the game is actually I'm just killing bandits and trying to level up a little bit. There's a whole bunch of things you need to work on inside of this game. You start out by creating your own main character. My character right now is playing the Mercenary class, which is basically heavy infantry. My job is to be in the front line where the fighting is thickest. I have huge amounts of HP and defense. I've got a moderate amount of attack, but really my job is just to be a bastion, a rock over which the enemy's cascade needs to flow in order to get to my ranged units and stuff like that. You do have equipment. It doesn't show on your character except for your weapons and your mount, I think, are the only things that I've seen so far that actually show on your character. You do level up as you go through battles, just as you would in Mount and Blade. On top of that, your captains, they also level up and will get support skills and things that they can do to help you on out. Right now, I have recently leveled up, so I've got a stat point that I can put in at the moment. I'm not really getting anything out of that. So we've got different stats down here. I've got my total damage. I've got my attack rating, which is my ability to actually hit the enemy. You've got your piercing stats because there's different classes of armor in this game that will insulate you from damage and make you much, much harder to hurt. And your piercing and you've got physical piercing and you've got energy piercing for magical characters that help you determine how much of their armor you're mitigating just through sheer raw force or sheer will. You've got your range, your attack intervals, how many skill points your character has accumulated over the course of his playthrough that you can spend on abilities in combat. You've got different stats, and the game does do a pretty good job of highlighting which of these stats are going to be very, very important for your character. I've been working on dexterity because I'd like to get my attack interval down. Right now I'm using a very fast weapon that doesn't deal a ton of damage, but it lets me swing a lot with my auto attack, and so I kind of like that tempo and that pace. These characters are different classes at the beginning of the game. I think there's like 12 or 13 classes that you can pick from. Everything from archers to spearmen to warriors to wizards to... There's even like a paladin. There's a guy that for all intents and purposes is a paladin and just hangs out in the front lines like healing their units and giving them buffs, singing songs and stuff like that. Lots and lots of variety to play around with, and all of that variety sort of acts in the service. Actually, let's go find ourselves another fight. I'm trying to level up right now because just like in Mount and Blade, your little units, they level up over time, so this guy's ready to go, and he can convert into armed security, which makes him into like one of these little swordsmen right here. I also need to get... Oh, she's got one extra leadership, so she can take another unit of allies with her as well. These are also troop stacks, so you are not limited to the 9 guys that you have right here listed up. Each one of these can turn into a stack. If you look... If I click on this guy, right here how it says count when I mouse over him, you can increase the count of these guys that you have as well by spending money. And so this is actually a 4 stack of spearmen, this is a 4 stack of spearmen, this is a 4 stack of swordsmen, and they do show up in combat with their extra numbers, and it does add onto how strong your army is. Everything is sort of like, you've got like a, I don't know what CE stands for, but it's basically your combat rating. It's how strong your army is, so that you can compare it to enemy armies and figure out what your chances are of whomping them and taking them on out. Throughout the map, there are gold mines and things like that that you can go to in order to earn money. Doing quests, in my opinion, tends to be the best way to earn some cash, though. They'll just absolutely rain money on you for going out and doing different quests and things. A rolling river dragon bandit. How strong are these guys? Are they like really, really strong? They're 645. I could probably take them if the other ones don't add on in. My army's starting to heal those, so let's go get these Xiaolong gang members over here, and we'll take them out real quick because that's why I'm down here anyways, is just to farm up some XP in between all my various engagements. I haven't totally figured out this menu yet. Basically, as far as I can tell, you're determining whether or not your characters will fight from like range or whether or not they'll crash into the enemy. You do get to decide on their deployments in here. Also, once we set up their different formations, you do get different bonuses, auto battler style, for the places that you choose to put them in the line. They deployed super far north. These guys, no, you guys follow me. Don't go after them just yet. We kind of want to clash over here. I'll get the horseman myself since I'm on horseback, and we'll light off an ability right there to deal some damage to them. Their leader's on this side. I'll sunder his armor a little bit, and then I'll shield bash him back, which stuns him for 5 seconds. Should give us a little bit of time to kind of like whittle him down, because the sergeants, they tend to be the biggest threats because they have abilities just like I do. And so they're down, and it looks like his units are mostly routing. Down here to the south, it looks like our swordsmen are holding, and one of our heroes just dismounted somebody. Let's get a big swipe right there to kill off the rest of their archers. And these ones are actually still staying on the field obnoxiously. Usually archers in this game, they rout very, very easily. You can see them routing right there, but they managed to hold their position in the line this time around. Let's go ahead and tell them to stop following. They can just kind of freely flow and do what they want to do. Perfect. Last guy's down and everybody else has fled the field, so we've got ourselves some more money and some more XP. Your units in this game, they don't die permanently, so you don't have to worry about that like you do in Mount & Blade Warband by taking a bunch of surgery skill. In this game, they just kind of heal over time. That's it. And so I know that when this number goes back up to 51, I'm all squared away and I'm good to go to re-engage with the enemy. Couple of fights out of the way that we've taken care of. I do have a delivery of farmhouse wine that I'm supposed to be delivering somewhere, but I don't know if it's bugged or what, because I had 2 of these delivery quests at the same time, and ever since I had both of them, they've been behaving sort of oddly. This guy wants me to get some dewy starflowers and turn them on in. All of the major cities, they're divided up into different bureaus or different factions that do different stuff. So Chitong merchants, if you do their quests, you level up with the merchants, which allows you to access rarer and better gear. The Zongwu League, these guys are responsible for recruitment, and so these guys are where you get all your soldiers from, and so ranking up with them allows you to get yourself higher ranked troops that cost more money. They have higher upkeep, but straight off the bat, they don't really need to be upgraded, and they can just kind of be thrown into your battle line in order to kind of hamper the enemy. I think I'd like a few more frontline. We're a little low on cash, actually. I need to make some money. Do I have anything that I can sell right now? I do. I've got a couple of these right here, which are like merchants' travel vouchers, I guess. I don't really understand culturally what that means, but they're a generic loot item that you get from some enemies that apparently are like the per diems for noblemen and things that are traveling around the map. They've been stolen by bandits and whatnot, and so when you find them, they're kind of like a bearer bond. You just show up in town and then you just turn them over and you get some free cash. My upkeep's getting a little bit nasty right now, so I do think that we're gonna have to figure out a place where we can get some cash at. We do have a quest for the Chitong merchants to defeat some bandits. They're attacking a caravan. So maybe if I can find that on the map. It looks like it's off to the east. Everything in this game is tool-tipped, by the way, so you shouldn't really have too much trouble finding your way in between conflicts as you make your story. If you're wondering on the depth of this demo right here, I've played for about 5 hours, and I'm not even into like the tier 3 of units yet. I'm only in like the 2nd or 3rd tier of abilities for my characters. The developers were very generous with this title when they decided to put it out in demo form, because there is a lot of content inside of this demo that you can play around with if it bites you with that particular itch like it did me. Alright, there's our robbers that are attacking a caravan. They've got 56 guys, so this should be a little bit beefier of a battle, but it looks like they're mostly tier 1 units. This is basically like fighting a stack of 56 looters. It shouldn't be that difficult. Let's put some of our units in kind of like right here in order to make contact with the enemy. We'll shift them around. I tend to like to keep my army nice and blocked up so that they don't get divided off and go in weird directions. You guys follow me. We're going to come up here. We are going to scrum a little bit with their infantry. I should be able to wipe them fairly easily. Yeah, these are just hatchet guys, so these are pretty much the lowest tier of unit you can possibly have right here. Let's get... looks like I'm gonna go get the archers. The archers are just feathering everybody right now, and I'm not a fan of it. Get them with a big slam right there. Maybe get them with a shield bash to knock them on out, and then we'll start cleaving them downwards. It looks like their heroes have run into our archers, though, which actually might cause a few unintended, I guess, casualties along the way. Finish them off so that we can come back and we can regroup with our forces over here. Oh, I left my army on follow me. That's why these guys are getting eaten. Gotcha. I forgot to take them off follow. Alright, well, I can cleave this guy down pretty easily, and if I can't do that, I can stun lock him too with my shield bash. Some of the magic spells and some of the sword skills in this game get absolutely insane. I had a temporary character who's like a legendary sort of Miyamoto Musashi style hermit that lives out in the woods, who's basically the greatest. So he's the Orlando of this game, all right? And he had some abilities when he joined my party for a little bit where he was like invoking flame tornadoes with his sword. Every time he swung, like fireballs were flying everywhere and leaving like blackened craters on the ground all over the place. It was nuts. We got some pretty good loot right there. Yeah, that should help us make a little bit of cash. I'm here for it. We do have another level up to play around with, and Lao Shan is the one who has leveled up. I'll probably raise her attack ever so slightly. She's a rogue, so most of her abilities are like fans of knives, and she's also got, I think, an ability that she pops that gives her like a super high dodge chance, basically allowing her to dodge tank for like 10 seconds. And if you time it right, it can actually be a major come up. But she's also got, who's got this? Oh, Dang Ji has himself another skill point that he can use. I was working on his leadership so that he would have a big army that can stand in the front lines with me, since he's a captain or something like that, a ranger, that's what it was. He's our Aragorn, all right? That's all you need to know about this guy, is that he's our Aragorn, calling in ghostly debts and allowing us to fight things that we normally can't fight. I think he's dual wielding right now, so I'm gonna work my way towards dual wield proficiency, and that means he's gonna get cross slash as a consequence. He's also got self-heal, which is kind of nice, which means that he can hold the point for a little while, because heroes in this game don't die easy. It takes a lot of focused fire to take down a hero. Let's unload some of the goodies we got from doing that quest for the Chitong merchants. I don't know where my... You got any commissions? No. I don't even know where my reputation is with these guys yet. Like, I can buy the green armor. Ooh, I made it so that I can buy the blue armor. Sick, dude. So he's only got heavy armor over here, and unfortunately none of my guys really rock with heavy armor, but I could get some riding boots and whatnot, which would be an upgrade for me. There's also some kind of like item combination, like item blessing thing in this game. I haven't gotten to it yet. There's like item enhancing right here. I haven't had a chance to play around with it. I don't know exactly how it works. This game has kind of like a rough localization when it comes to like overall mechanics and how things function. And so one of the reasons I pulled this video from yesterday in order to re-record it is because after 4 or 5 hours of playing the game, I'm still figuring things out and being like, oh, that's how that works. But in like a weird way that's hard to describe to you guys, I kind of like the fact that I have to hammer my way through it and figure it out myself. Like, games are so over-tutorialized nowadays that this game also has a very large tutorial, but like, it doesn't make sense because the localization is sort of like a work in progress. And so you kind of got to figure this stuff out for yourself, which when I figure out a new mechanic, I do get a little bit of a dopamine rush. I'm not going to lie to you. So it was not bugged, by the way, that wine delivery quest. The wine delivery quest, I was just taking it to the wrong person. So that's what happened there. We do have a little bit of cash to fool around with. I could build out my army a little bit more aggressively, but I don't know if I want to. Inside the tavern, we do have a quest to defend the Shi Mansion, which pays 9,000 ducats, so I'm not going to turn that one down at all. Where is this place that I need to go to? Looks like it's down to the southwest of us, so that should be pretty easy to take care of. I can also buy more wine over here. If you're wondering about the supporting mechanics that exist inside of this game, so you have the family system. Just like in Bannerlord, your family levels up and they become more important and more influential. That gives you access to different advisors that you can recruit from inside of the captains that work for you to give your warband different bonuses. So you get like surgeons, you get captains, you get sergeant at arms and stuff like that. They change around like your training efficiency, how fast your guys heal. There's things in here for all of that. I haven't gotten to all of it yet, but it's there. We've also got the relations menu. So people that you can recruit, you will find them throughout the map. And like some of them are freebies, but they will give you a thing called I think it's called like a communication stone or something like that. When they give you a communication stone, you use it and it will add them to your relationship list, which means that you can dial them up on kind of like your Iron Age Chinese cell phone. And then you can send them gifts, and once they get to familiar, you can actually recruit them as captains. There's also your nation tab. This isn't implemented yet inside the confines of the game, but they've got a preview here of what it's going to look like, where you're going to be able to conquer different areas. You can can already occupy certain things on the map. I haven't done it yet because I didn't know if it would tank my reputation with the local lords, and so I was waiting till I was strong enough to hold off their professional armies with my ragtag mercenary army before I did it. But they've got things like your tax rate, and you can fee off things to your supporters and stuff like that. Not in the game yet, but will be when it comes out in 1.0. You've got the intelligence menu over here, which lets you know how much everybody likes you, all of the people that are a part of that faction, so that you can walk up and talk to them and maybe make friends with them if it makes your life a little bit easier for various conflicts. But for now, we've got to defend this mansion down here, so let's go do that. So we have She-Mansion Raiders down here. I don't know how tough they are. I saved my game, though, so maybe oh, it's actually kind of close. Okay, so they have us outnumbered, but we have them outskilled. We'll manual battle it. It looks like they're keeping a tight formation, so I'm just going to keep a tight formation as well. But I'm going to keep her kind of back into the north so that she doesn't get hit by these guys. And then we're going to bring him up to the front to sort of tank for us. All right, boys. Let's get after it. Yeah, it's a pretty sizable army. However, it should be really good loot and XP, and it's a $10,000 paycheck, which I could really use. Yeah, there goes a big wing of your army right there. Good stuff. I need to get around to the back. And I need to hit them. I need to hit them right there. So there's a few more of them down. These guys appear to be holding the line against their hero. Well, sort of. He just popped off with cross slash, and so that's probably going to do a little bit of damage. My other hero's down here dealing with their archers, but the archers are causing losses. We're going to have to figure that out as time goes along, too. Abilities are back up and running. Cleave all of them. Get them knocked out, and I think that if we can take down their melee vanguard, we should be all right. It looks like they're mostly routing, and I think it's just their captains that are still up and running. So let's stun lock these guys real quick before they kill my rogue. Perfect. Now we're looking good. Hit them with another one. Cool. That was a solid battle right there. I'm pretty happy with that one. And that battle was like half the size of the biggest battle that I've been in. Unfortunately, it was a storyline battle, so I wasn't able to, like, if I was thinking, I would have recorded it while I was in it and then just spliced it in for, like, my closing thoughts or something. But I'm an idiot and I'm unprofessional, and so I forgot. We've got some armor in here. We got like a few things that we can sell. $2,000 and some XP, which is nice. We'll probably get some family reputation too, which will be good. Yeah, we did. $8,000 for that though is great. Does She's Mansion actually have anything inside of it? No, it's just like a way station. Okay. Only my heroes survived that last battle, which is a little bit of a bummer. But the good news is we now have enough money. They want dewy starflowers. I can probably make that happen. I do need the merchants to keep liking me, and so I've been doing all of their little commissions while I've been playing the game. And we'll sell off some of the stuff that we picked up. You can also have the elixir pills, I guess. I think that'll do it for now. I've got purchases to make. Let's go to the Zhongwu League. Do you guys have a commission? Spar with the Zhongwu League team. Okay. I'm responsible. These guys will hire out basically mercenaries, just like in Mount & Blade, to like train their units that are protecting certain fiefdoms and whatnot. He's got all of his missions assigned. I need to recruit a little bit more, I think. So I've got 2 slots right here that I can fill in. Let's get 2 of these guys. For her, I think I'd like to start giving her... Let's just keep her all melee for right now. And then he's already tacked out. He's like my biggest unit, and so that'll be fine. Let's go over to our character menu real fast and figure out what we got going on here. It looks like, actually, I've got a skill up. So potentially, I could get more ranged block to protect me from arrows, or I could get light armor specialization. Light armor in this game is like chainmail, basically. It looks like I get much faster attack and better melee defense from that, so I'll go ahead and take that passive. That sounds all right to me. Nobody else looks like they have anything going on, so we don't need to worry about that. Nobody in my legion leveled up. They're kind of like soft-capped by what level my family is. So like these auxiliary spearmen right here, they need to hit level 20 in order to go up to their next tier, which is these guys right here, which are quite a bit stronger. Basically double the HP. It looks like they've almost got double the attack. They've got much better piercing. I want these little dual-wielding Tiger Elite Vanguards right here is what I really want, but I'm not there yet. I've got 2 extra slots in this army. I'll move them up to here so that they're in the front, because these units don't like to be in the top column, the bottom column, or the front 2 rows, I don't think, or the front 2 columns and then the top and bottom row. All these little units, they have abilities that tell you where you can deploy them, and they get bonuses that add on and make them stronger as long as you've got them in a position that they prefer, basically. And so these guys right here, these basic, like, rock bottom militia, they have super terrible morale if they're in the front 2 columns, or basically if they're in the front line, all right? Just don't put them inside any of those tiles and this second column. Otherwise, they get hugely nerfed. They kind of need to be back and away from the overall conflict. Let's give her... These guys, though, can move up now, which is nice. So I can keep them there as kind of like a personal guard for her. And then him, he's already full up. However, his archers need to be expanded. I only have 33,000 gold right now. So I only have enough to add 3 more units to each of these stacks. That's right, these stacks expand. So if you see, if I mouse over him and click, you see where it says count 1 right there? You can pay money to add extra stacks of units, and they do show up in combat. So this little guy right here is actually 4 guys when we go into combat. This guy right here will be 3 guys when we go into combat. This one right here will be 1. And so you can expand those on out. There's also mastery. Basically, if they level cap out, but you don't want to promote them because their job is to do something important that capitalizes on the bonus that they have. What Mastery does is it makes it so they can never be promoted ever again, but it raises their level cap up to level 50, which means that units in this game can be quite useful in the right arrangements, and you may not actually want to promote them based on what their job is inside of your columns and inside of your lines. Got a couple more missions from the mission broker, so we'll go to the northwest. Every time you see on any of the major cities one of these purple exclamation points, that's one of the scripted quests you can do. It might introduce you to new captains. It might introduce you to more context about the game world and what's going on. They usually have really big rewards. They usually give you like some kind of awesome legendary item or a new general that can join your army to help you like lead another column of troops. That kind of stuff. The reason why I'm not putting them in this video right now is because they're very word heavy. There's lots and lots of spoken dialogue in this game, and so I have to be in the mood to go... Is this guy hostile? Does he like want to hurt me? That guy's red. Dang Yang Sect Raider. This must be the guy right here. Let's go get him. Okay, so they're set up kind of in the same formation as the last time. Have your troops follow you. Have your troops follow you. Alright, let's roll. We got a whole bunch of dudes coming in from that way. I don't really know where I should help out here, but I'm going to try to knock out this column over here first. Get them all with one big cleave. Get the second batch right there. We've already got people retreating. It looks like my units are taking down their captains, so I'm going to come down this way, take him off follow mode, though, because he's going to need help or he's going to get taken out. He's definitely going to need some backup. I don't want to fight the captain right here if I can help it. I want to slam into the back of these archers and kill off a whole bunch of them before they kill off my hero. He doesn't die permanently or anything, but it takes him a little while to heal. Good stuff. Looks like most of the archers have been handled, and they're down to 11 units left. We lost about half of our units, though, so that's unfortunate. And just like that, we're in cleanup phase. We did get a decent amount of cash right there, which is good. My upkeep is becoming very, very large for my army, and so like having money coming in where I'm getting paid large amounts of cash in order to take care of these problems is infinitely helpful. Oh my god, they all leveled up. Hell yeah. I would like to see a promote all button, but having this guy now with tier 2 soldiers is going to give us a like 20% more proficiency in combat, which means that these guys now are much scarier to contend with. It looks like they're getting some... Oh, never mind. No, they're not. I don't know what these little numbers mean right here. I haven't figured that part out yet. I need to like read my way through the guide. like the tutorial thing. Like, this game dumps a lot of information on you in the early tutorials before you really have the context or the use for a lot of it. And so, like, I found that I go back and I look things up pretty frequently. Do these guys... Oh, stealth operations. So if they're in column 3, 4, or 5, they get plus 10 physical piercing. Okay, so we definitely want them lined up like that then. That makes them stronger. Looks like he leveled up, too, and got access to another unit as well. Good. It looks like Dang Ji has himself a new level up. I will just dedicate that straight up. It looks like his HP is probably the worst. I'd like to get him some more HP, I think. So I might start putting some points into perception. I don't know why perception gives HP in this game. I can't explain it to you. No idea why that's a thing. But we also need to train these units over here while we're in the neighborhood so that we can... I'll just auto-battle that one. It's whatever. The auto-battle in this game, though, be really careful with it. It's not super great. Only use auto-battle if you have, like, 3,000 attack power and the enemy has, like, 200. Don't get too wild and crazy with it, trying to auto-resolve things that are kind of evenly spaced. You are much, much better off running it yourself in that situation. Those guys have 1,800 combat prowess. What's my combat prowess at now? Ooh, and my family leveled up, too. I've got a new hero slot. I've got tons and tons of hero slots. Like, I just haven't found the heroes to put them in yet. So, if you were wondering how big your army can get, if everybody could have 10 units that are multiplied by 3, because you get 3 extra guys off each one, so, like, you'd have 40 units, and then I already have 10 heroes, so that's 400 units just straight off the bat. And I'm not even remotely done leveling up my family yet. Like, it goes on for a while and continues to give you a hero slot pretty much every single level. And so I'm guessing your army is going to be able to get up to, like, pretty serious 1,500, 2,000 unit levels. Let's fight this guy, dude. I bet we can take him. We've got him slightly outgunned. I'm not going to bribe you. I'm going to murder you. Let's go. Let's manual battle this thing. So he's got 4 heroes. We kind of want to deal with one of them before they have a chance to adapt to us. And so we kind of want to womp this guy early, I think. They've got some kind of, like, ninja in the back. I don't know what kind of ninja. Oh, my God. They're dropping bombs and stuff on me. There we go. Light off the abilities. I think if we can keep that energy... Well, actually, the red bar is moving very, very rapidly at the top of the screen. This may have been a poor idea. I think it's the wizards, dude. Damn, we got wiped out. It said their challenge rating was roughly commensurate to ours, but, like, those little wizard guys in the background that were bombing us out, I should have gone for their column first. I didn't know that they had wizards. I probably could have one-shot a lot of them. So... let's find out what happens when you lose the game. What happens here? I've actually never lost a battle. It looks like it sends you back to town. Do we lose our legion? No, we still have all of our guys. We just got, like, stomped something righteous. Okay, I can live with that. I'm not really getting an attack damage out of any of that. Some more HP might be good, though, because my HP is pretty girthy compared to everybody else's, but I'd like to have more. I'd like to be able to tank more better. I didn't even lose any money for that. Okay, well, I'll take it then. This is a fantastic demo. I like it a lot. If you can get through the dodgy translation and sort of, like, I don't even know what to call it, because there's certain phrases they use in this game and whatnot that I'm positive are translated properly, but, like, the idiom or, like, the maxim doesn't make sense because you don't have the cultural context to it. Localization, that's what I would say is really the only thing that this game needs to work on. It's a pretty awesome Eastern replacement for Mount and Blade Warband that manages to keep the stuff in that makes Mount and Blade interesting, while also varying it up a little bit with regards to just the mechanics that make the game function. I'm very, very happy with this demo, and I am very much looking forward to whatever their 1.0 looks like. I am, sincerely. Like, I am very impressed with this game, I guess is my closing thoughts about it. A couple bugs I did come across that need to be squashed. The soundtrack. Sometimes it plays multiple soundtracks overlaid over the top of each other, and the only way I can get it to fix is to restart the game, basically. And then from there, it's just localization, localization, localization. Right now, they have, like, a rough localization to English inside of here, and I'm sure the words are correct when it comes to the translation, but some of the idioms and phrases that the game uses, or like some of the ways that they frame an event in context, just don't make sense with the combination of words they're using, which means I'm guessing it's got some kind of like cultural meaning that I'm just not aware of. But even so, I've enjoyed most of the storylines that I've played through in this game. I've enjoyed building up my army. This is a tremendously generous demo that I would be shocked if you don't get like at least 15 or 20 hours out of it. Like, there's all kinds of things that I haven't done yet. I haven't done trading in between different factions and stuff like that. The map right now for the demo is that right there. But if you look what it's going to look like in the 1.0, this game is going to be huge and sprawling. So stay at it, developers. You have me hooked. You have me on the line, and I am very much waiting and looking forward to you guys releasing this in 1.0 form or even early access form. I don't care. I just want to play more. So I'm going to end the video right here. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games so that you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we were fooling around with a game called Crown and Adventure, which I think is really fantastic. I'm having a great time with it. Tomorrow we'll have something else. I'll see y'all later, and thanks for stopping in. That's all I got for you.